This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, welcome to my top 2 of everything for 2018. So instead of making 9,000 more lists, I decided to just combine a bunch of things and pick my top 2 things out of things that I thought really shined for me this year. And there was quite a few things. So without further ado, let's go down as we look into the very cool Marvel cover patron book that I keep all the patron stuff, but we also use some pages to make some lists here. So the first thing we're going to go with is War Games of 2018. Now I ran through the War Games, but the 2 from 2018 that really stood out in my head was Fort Sumter by GMT. Fantastic experience, great game. I really suggest you get it. But the #1 game, of course, you guys know it. It was one of my top games of the year. I really enjoy this, and it finds its way to the table quite a bit, and that's Armageddon War from Flying Pig Games. Fantastic game. As far as dexterity games go, there was only one that really stood out to me that deserves to be here, and that is SEAL Team Flicks. It is a fantastic experience. I just can't believe how you can just put all that together and it all fits in the box perfectly. Perfect design, perfect game, fun, engaging, and you could play it solo and still have a fantastic time by yourself, believe it or not. Euro games of the year, these 2 really stood out for me. At number 2 is Underwater Cities. A really interesting, fascinating game. I really like everything that's going on with it. I think this is going to be good, really big coming into the coming year, and it is gaining momentum. But this one really stood out for me. #1 is easy. It's Brass. Birmingham. A fantastic experience. I had the chance to play it at BGG, and I thought it was just absolutely fantastic, and a really fantastic game. Card games of the year. That's real easy. There are 2 card games, and it's kind of funny. The first one came out and had so much momentum, and that's Warhammer Champions. It's still got some steam. I think this is a very good, solid game. It gives you that feel of Age of Sigmar and helps maybe lead people into what is already a fantastic hobby into itself in the miniatures game. But, I mean, how can anybody else top this list but Keyforge? Keyforge is killing it. That is definitely, it's close to being the game of the year for some people, let alone the card game of the year. Let's put it that way. My print and play games of the year. Well, D100 without even going any further is my #1. But #2 was surprising, and that's 4 Against Darkness. That's a game I'm going to be finishing up. I really enjoyed that, and that's at #2. I kind of figured that you guys would know that these 2, especially since I've raved and raved about both of these. D100 Dungeon 100, I never get it right, but I love the game. It's a fantastic experience to play solo. You take your character and you just develop this dungeon, and you create your own story in your head. You don't need a narrative. 4 Against Darkness, you have a beautiful story with tons of stories. I have to get the rest of the stories and get them all bound up. They're just absolutely beautiful and fantastic. My dungeon crawls of the year are a little bit surprising. At #2 is Marvel Strike Team. This came out of nowhere, and I really enjoyed this game. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing it. I enjoy the story with it. I enjoy how everything flows in it. I love how you can level up the characters. For me, it was such a great experience, and you saw it here. I thought it was fantastic. A game that you guys haven't seen me play here, but I have had a chance to play, is Village Attacks. And that we're going to be doing heading into the new year. So it can't qualify as far as on the channel for 2019. But I have been waiting and got my hands on this late 2018. And I think that as far as I was concerned, as far as dungeon crawls, this one was a home run for me. Miniature game of the year. Now, number 2 was a game that I absolutely love, and that's Shadow Brimstone Forbidden Fortress. The miniatures are fantastic. It's a dungeon crawl, but I didn't want to put it in both categories, but I wanted to make this one shine because the miniatures were so enjoyable to put together, to play. They built this theme, beautiful, feudal Japan, gorgeous. What more can you say? Number 1, I mean, how can you go anything else as far as a miniature game is concerned than Kill Team? Kill Team is exactly that. It just killed it this year, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic, wonderful to play, and just a great experience. Party games. Now, what I mean by this is games that are a little lighter, but just a lot of fun. And this one almost made it as far as miniatures are concerned, as far as party game is concerned. And for me, it was Grim Forest at number 2. I absolutely love this game. James, fantastic. You know, is there anything that you touch that doesn't turn to gold? Just a tremendous person and a tremendous game. And number 1 was a game I had a lot of fun with, and that's the Mansky Caper. Myself, Tina, and yeah, the tiger played this, and we absolutely loved it. It just was just so much fun, and it's going to make its way on another list here. Underrated games of the year. Underrated games of the year were something that I played, and I don't understand why everybody else isn't playing it. Now, I added 3 to this because these really stood out. Victory Point Games came out with a game that is the same as a video game, and that's Gem Rush. This is a fun, fantastic game. You could play it by yourself, you could play it with somebody, and it's just a great experience. Check it out. You can get it at, yes, Miniature Market. And I think you would really, really enjoy this. I don't think this is getting a lot of buzz. It's a good game, and I think you would really enjoy it. At number 2 is a game that replaced a game for me. It's the same game, but with different mechanics and not all the teams, and that's First and Roll. I had a chance to play this at BGG. I did it live here. I think this is a fantastic football game, and I think you guys would really, really enjoy this. Check out First and Roll. Really fantastic, wonderful game. Number 1, no surprise, Mansky Caper. I don't know why people are not playing this. This is a lot of fun, and it is a game where you are trying to go into this mansion of Mansky's and trying to take as much as you can, get your loot out of there before he comes back, or the booby traps blow you can blitz to pieces. You're just trying to get a little bit of yours and get out, and the person with the most wins. Really, really fantastic. Games I loved to paint in 2018. The games I loved to paint and that really stuck out in my head, and when I sat there and I thought, I painted a lot of stuff, but 2 games I just found so enjoyable. Number 2 was Forbidden Fortress. Everything went together perfectly. Everything painted up beautifully, painting the dragons and all the other beautiful stuff that comes with Shadows of Brimstone. It is just such a fantastic game. There's not enough I can say about it, but Forbidden Fortress really just kind of turned the corner for me, and I really, really enjoyed painting everything that they had for it, and it was just a joy to do, and I got through it pretty quickly. Well, the number 1 game for painting for me was a game I didn't expect to enjoy as much, and turned out to be one of my daughter's favorite games, and that's Stuffed Fables. What a beautiful game. I loved painting all the figures, the toys and everything like that. It was just such a nice change of pace, and it was so enjoyable, and the miniatures were beautiful, and it was fun, and then when you put the pieces on the table, they were just absolutely fun as well. Now, last gasp games of the year, games that came out late in the year that didn't make my list earlier in the month, that I found very surprising and very good. Well, we just played this not too long ago. We painted it, we played it, and it came in at number 2, and that is Terminator Genesis Rise of the Resistance. This is a good game. I love the mechanics where you're placing dice, where the figures, though not perfect, painted up, they just add so much to it. The story it tells, the advancement of your characters, this plays out beautifully. The bosses are hard as anything. This is a fun and enjoyable game. Number 1 is a game that I just learned, and I played through, and I am completely blown away by it, and that's Dawn of the Peacemakers. I love the whole animal theme. I think this is just absolutely fantastic. This is just a great game. A fantastic game. And another late gasp game is Everdale. I wanted to add that one in. Everdale, I finally, it was hard to get. I couldn't put it in any of my lists because I didn't get a chance to get it, but I just recently got it and went through it, and I went, wow, this is fantastic. So just as we are here in the last couple of days of 2018, well, we found a couple gems for sure. IPs. IP games of the year. Well, that is easy for me. Number 2 is Terminator Rise of the Resistance. Check this out. Please check this out. But the number 1 game is came out earlier, and my boys at Epic, everything Epic Games, I mean, what can you say? Big Trouble in Little China is a fantastic experience. And this one also almost made the list for games that I enjoyed painting because there's just so much to it. If you saw the movie, you're going to love this game. You're going to enjoy this game. Fantasy board game. This is a game that is not controlled by a ton of figures and stuff like that, but it still has that fantasy feel to it. Thunderstone Quest came in at number 2. I love Thunderstone Quest. I hope to get it to the table and show you how good this deck builder is and how it just all works together, and it's just a beautiful experience. But the number 1 fantasy game for me was Hex Explore It. I loved playing this game. I may have screwed up some rules, but if you really want to see a great job of this, go check out Beyond Solitaire. Liz does a fantastic job with this. I just think this is a fantastic game, and I would love to get my hands on the other part of it. I believe there's another version of it out there I hope to get my hands on. Sci-fi of the game, is that the final one that we have? I think it is. Let me just make sure. Yes, this is the final one. Our final category, and it is Sci-Fi Game of the Year. Well, in the beginning of the year, I had a chance to play around with Star Saga. What a fantastic game this was. I actually made a mistake because I didn't have my glasses on, and I thought I didn't have a page in there. And I skipped over it, and I never corrected it. And I owe Mantic an apology, but neither to say, this game is just a fantastic, enjoyable experience. I hope they do more for it. It's just great. I want to see some more figures. I want to see more of everything, and I hope they don't drop this game. Number 1 was Destiny Aurora. You guys are going to see that very soon. Frank, you did a fantastic job. This is a great sci-fi game. I love how it plays out in outer space, and then we bring it down, you land on a planet, and then it's on like Donkey Kong. The miniatures are fantastic. Everything about it is just a wonderful experience. And I think you guys should definitely check that out. Well, there you go. The last list about 2018. We have one more list coming up, and you guys will see that in a couple of days, and that's what we're looking forward to in 2019. It's time to put 2018 to bed. It's been a wonderful year. I hope you guys all have enjoyed yourselves. I hope you have a safe, happy new year, and most of all, and have just a wonderful 2019 that's coming up, and I hope it's as good and great as our 2018 was. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon.